All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So after many weeks of searching, I believe I have finally found my next product. Now, if you've watched any of my recent videos, I talked about how my very first Amazon FBA product is being discontinued and I need to start expanding and broadening my product range further. And also I'm trying to switch from heavier and larger products that I sea ship to smaller and lighter products that I can fly in so that I have less money tied up for a shorter period of time. So that's the direction I wanted to take my business going forward. And that's why it's taken me longer than usual to find these products. Now in the past, finding kind of larger and heavier products that I sea shipped, I could find an opportunity probably within 15 minutes on Amazon. But these much smaller and lighter products that need to be small and light enough to actually go on a plane and still be profitable, they are much harder to find. But I believe I'm finally there. And what I want to do in this video is talk you through what comes next, because I know there are many of you out there at the product research stage, even if you're an existing seller, that you find a product and sometimes you think, oh, what do I need to do to ensure this is actually a good product? So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 different things that I look at. Now, it's not just limited to these 5 things. There are other areas I look at as well, but this video, I don't want it to go on all day. But there are 5 things I want to show you in this video. So up first, let's take a look at the number 1 thing you should be checking when you find a product on Amazon. So let's say you've just found a chopping board and you're super excited, you think everything checks out. Now the first thing you need to verify, and that is the demand. So when you're doing your product research, you'll be using a tool such as X-Ray from Helium 10 or Jungle Scout or one of the many other sales analyst tools out there to give you estimates of what sales are like in that niche. So you might have found this niche and you've decided, okay, well, there's a good bulk of sellers here selling around 400 to 500 units per month. That's what I wanted to sell. This meets my product research criteria. So you've decided this product is right for you. Now these tools, as good as they are, you should not trust them 100%. Now I personally have a lot of faith in Helium 10 and X-Ray as I've been using it for many years. And obviously I can compare those figures against my own products. And also I mentor many people on the FBAelite.com forums. So I know what their products are selling as well. And whenever I check these estimates, they're usually within around 10% of the actual figures. So they are very accurate. And personally, I would be comfortable to trust these, but I would always recommend that everyone verifies their figures. So the simple way to do this is to use a second piece of software. Now I do have Jungle Scout from my very early days where it's a one-off fee. So I have Jungle Scout extension installed so I can quickly open this up and verify. If it opens, no, it doesn't want to open. Let's do that and make it slightly bigger for you guys the manual way, and verify whether these figures match up with what I was seeing in Helium 10. So for example, I don't know what it's doing now. If you're wondering why I'm using Helium 10, and this is not deliberate, this is just Jungle Scout being Jungle Scout. So this one here, for example, that's saying it sells 1,024 units per month. Let's go back to X-Ray, pop that open. And we can see the same product there, they're estimating at 950. So within 10% of each other, that's a very promising sign. So unless there is a big discrepancy between these products, it's very unlikely that these figures are going to be a long way out. But the ultimate way to check is to do manual tracking. Now, this isn't as easy as it used to be, as a lot of sellers are wise to this now and put restrictions in place. So for example, if I wanted to track how many units this one was selling per month, I would add it to my basket and do the 999 tracking method, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And you can see how many sales they are making by coming back each day and seeing how much their inventory depletes. But I already know that this one has it restricted. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it to the basket. I'm going to show you guys anyway. And I'm also going to add one which I know that isn't restricted. So this one here, let's add these guys as well. And then we go to the basket and I show you how this works. So go to basket. So I've got these 2 products in there. This one here, which is the best seller in the category, you change this to 10 plus, and then you put 999 in. Now, FBA, a lot of FBA sellers are wise to this, and they can put a limit on this, so a maximum of 10 orders per customer, so people can't track how many units are being sold. But put 999 in, choose update. If there is a restriction in place, you'll be told. So this seller has a limit of 59 per customer. So it's not possible for you to track that product. So I'll delete that out of your basket. But this one, we can go to 10 plus, 999, choose update. And that says they currently have 140 of these available, but there's no restrictions in place. So what I'd do was come back the same time tomorrow and check this again. And if it's come down to 130, we know they've sold 10 today. And you do this for 7 to 10 days to get an idea of what these figures are. And then you can compare them back to the estimates. And if they're in within kind of 10 to 20% of what you're seeing in the estimates, then you'll find a trusted estimates overall. So first thing is make sure you check the demand is what you expect it to be based on the sales estimates. Now, following demand, and probably the second most important thing to check, and that is profitability, because I see this quite a lot. People come to me with a product that isn't very profitable at all. You know, it has small margins and they have no flexibility with that project with regards to their price point or with regards to PPC. So it's very, very important you check this early on. The last thing you want to do is pay for samples, invest lots of time and money in the product, and the profitability doesn't stack up. So I always check it once at the start, once I found the product, and then again at the very end, just before I place the bulk order, to ensure all of those figures stack up and I've got plenty of room to work with. So there are two ways you can check the profitability. So for example, with Helium 10, you've got a profitability tool built straight in. Just go to the icon as usual and choose a profitability calculator. And you can go through these options and customize it based on the research that you have done. So for example, you might decide that you don't want to sell at $16.97. Let's see if I can move that over so you guys can see that. So you might not want to sell at $16.97. You might plan to sell at $18.99 because you're going to be developing a better product than that. You might have also spotted something in the dimensions. So for example, this at 45.2 is just going into the oversized category, whereas you launched a chopping board that was only 44.2, then your FBA referral fee would come down. So these are little tweaks you can make to make sure your product is more profitable, and ways you can develop your product in clever ways that will give you a slight edge over the competition. So you can go through all of these. You can pop in your manufacturing cost. Now, I'll show you very quickly in a moment how to get a possible idea for what this could be. Estimated freight cost. You'd need to speak to a freight forwarder to get an idea about this at the moment. I know roughly it's 275 per cubic meter based on my most recent shipment. And this is going to be sold via FBA, and you can choose your VAT rate. So if you're VAT registered, make sure you leave this at 20%. If you're not, put it at 0 rate so you can get an idea of the figures. So you can see here, if you're really able to source this product at £3.39 and sell it at £8.99, then potentially you have very, very healthy margin. Now, it's unlikely it's going to be that healthy, and that's probably why these guys are selling it a bit cheaper at $16.97. So let's pop $16.97 back in there, and you can see this comes down to $7.29. And if we put this back to the 45.2, you can see it drops down considerably as well. So you can see how much just tweaking those dimensions can make a big difference if it changes you from one size and category to another. So that's one way you can check the profitability. Another way, and this is the way I personally do it, on the FBA Elite forums, this is completely free for you guys. Just sign up with your email address and you can download the profit calculator. So go to the resource section, go to templates, and on here we've got various things that you guys can have, but you want the profit calculator here with and without VAT. And as you guys can see here, it's very, very simple. You've got two simplified profit calculators you can use. Now you can add to these as you see fit. So if you want to add in storage, if you want to add in PPC, then adjust the formulas accordingly. For me, I just use these to get a very, very quick overview and to keep them as simple as possible. So we've got a non-VAT registered one on the left-hand side, which is ideal for new sellers as you're not VAT registered yet. And we have VAT registered on the right-hand side. So if you are VAT registered, use this one instead, and it will give you the very basic figures. But like I say, feel free to add to these depending on the metrics that you want to include. So that's two ways that you can check your profitability. So you've checked the demand, you've checked the profitability. Now what comes next? Well, I'm just going to refer to my list to ensure that I don't miss anything. So up next, we have the sample process stage. Now I've got a really clever thing that you guys can do with samples, which will save you a lot of time and money. Just before I get there, if you do want to use Helium 10 for your product research, for your profitability, checking demand and stuff like that, go to helium10.com and you can use FBA Elite 10 for 10% off every single month if you're planning on using it long term. So you can see that it brings down the price. Or you can use FBA Elite 50, and that will give you 50% off your first month only. So this is much more effective if you're just going to use it in the short term, and you can come back and use it again at a later date, or use either of those codes to get 25% off of the annual plan. So going back to samples, Now, this is one area where a lot of people waste a lot of money because they only get samples from suppliers. Well, I actually have a two-stage sample process. I get my samples from Amazon. Now, that sounds crazy, but let's imagine I've decided I want to sell a chopping board. So I can go onto Alibaba and order lots of different samples from different suppliers, spend a fortune, probably $100 roughly, maybe a bit more for this type of product to get it packaged up and shipped to the UK. So you can spend quite a bit of money. Or I can come on here and I can find the similar sorts of products that I'm looking to order. It will just cost me whatever it is here. So, $16.97, it will be here tomorrow with Prime. And the advantage of doing this is, one, it will save you a lot of time. You haven't got to waste a week or two finding a supplier and getting samples sent over. Two, it will save you a lot of money. So when you actually do start ordering samples from Alibaba, you'll know what you want. So you're not ordering 10 different samples of random products. So by ordering from Amazon UK, you can actually refine your specification very, very quickly. You can look at all of these products that are doing well already, see what you like and dislike, and start to formulate the criteria for your own product. The other thing as well is you get to see firsthand what these products are like, so you know who you're going to be competing with, and also by getting them in hand, you'll spot any shortfalls with those products. So straight away, within a couple of days of getting these samples, you'll be able to put together a really good specification for the type of product you want to develop. You can then start contacting suppliers on Alibaba and starting to get real samples sent over to the actual specification that you're seriously considering, rather than just kind of speculatively ordering samples, which is what I used to do. So hopefully you guys, by introducing this extra step of just spending maybe £50 or £100 buying various samples from the competitors on Amazon UK, it will save you a lot of money and time in the long run versus just ordering directly from Alibaba. But when you are ready to go to Alibaba, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either do it again directly from within Helium 10. So you've got the search results here. And if we bring up X-ray again, we've actually got a shortcut here. So let's say we were looking at the top seller here. All you need to do is choose find suppliers in the top right corner. And this will start to list potential suppliers of these products. And funnily enough, there's actually a supplier here using that exact product image. So you can click through to that. And that is one way you can find the suppliers. The other way is just going onto Alibaba.com and going through that. And I've done videos in the past how to use Alibaba fully. So make sure you check through my catalog to find one of those. So there's two different ways you can get samples, but I always start on Amazon.co.uk, get my samples in, and then I'll go to Alibaba at a later date. Now there are two more things I want to show you before I wrap this video up. The first is getting some ideas for differentiation. So most people will come to Amazon, they'll go onto the product listing, they'll click through to the reviews, and they'll start to look for pain points or issues that customers have had in the past. And that is a great way of doing things. It can be a bit clunky, especially with how clunky the Amazon interface is. But Helium 10 has a tool called Review Insights built in. So this makes things quicker and easier for you guys to use. So just click Extract Reviews in the top right corner, and you can go through this and figure out the pain points people were having. So if you just want to focus on the 1 stars, you can do that. Or you can focus maybe on the 3 stars if that's what you feel. Sometimes 3 stars offers more value as they kind of give a more balanced view. I sometimes find 1 star are people just overreacting. So, but still go through all of these and try and see what issues people are having, improve on those issues. So that's one way of getting ideas for differentiation. I think in the past I've done a video on 10 different ways to help your product stand out. So again, look through my back catalogue for that video, but definitely the Review Insights tool will save you some time and help you get some ideas for developing the product. And finally, this is actually how I found the sub niche within the niche that I've just found. So I found the product niche. Overall, it was too competitive. There was far too much demand. I think like the average seller was selling around 2,000 units per month. I only wanted to make around or sell around 500 units per month. And also the price point for the overall niche was too low, whereas this sub niche has a much higher average price point. So it suited my criteria well. So I have covered this briefly in a previous video, but within Sell Essential, this is a free tool that you guys can use. If you go to Growth and go to Product Opportunity Explorer, and what you do in the search bar at the top, you pop in the search terms. So we've got chopping board here, and this will bring up real Amazon data for you guys to go through. So chopping boards come up first, so I'm going to click on that to go through to the product. Then on here, I want you to go to the search terms tab on the left-hand side. And the reason this is really powerful is it shows you the actual search volume. So you can go through here and see which niches have a lot of search volume, but also it gives you other ideas. So you might have decided you want to launch a chopping board, but actually the search volume suggests you might be better off going for a wooden chopping board or a chopping board set. And on top of this, on the right hand side, you have these top 3 clicked products. So depending on the search term, chopping board set, you're seeing products that are chopping board sets as you would expect. But you can look through these and start to look for patterns for the type of products that people are buying. So when you do enter into a particular niche, you know the sorts of products that people are clicking on once they've searched through to this niche. So this tool is really, really powerful. And sometimes you might scroll down and you might see a niche. So for example, here we've got grey chopping board. Okay, the search volume is a bit low, but you might not have just considered launching a grey chopping board, but you may do now if the demand was high enough to meet kind of the sales goals you were trying to achieve. So this product opportunity explorer within Amazon is really powerful, and I'd recommend you guys give it a go because it may help you find a sub niche within some of the niches that are too competitive. So those are 5 of the things I want you guys to look at once you've found a product. If you found this video useful, I'd really appreciate it. Hit the like button, and if you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. What I'm going to do now is pop up 2 videos. The first video is going to show you the real world product research criteria that I'm using at the moment to find my own products. And the other video will be the top 5 methods that you can use to find products. And I'd recommend you guys give those a watch.